Here again with another Lucifer Season 5 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important if you weren't caught up to the point where I am in rewatching or watching Lucifer, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case and you found that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And for all of you out there that are wondering, this is indeed my first time watching the show Lucifer, so join me on the journey and let's discuss the show in the comment section, along with the legendary Crazy Coffee Man, who is a Lucifer fanatic, as well as a Dexter fan / fanatic, and a Breaking Bad fan. With all that said, this will be Lucifer Season 5, Episode 8. The title of this episode is called Spoiler Alert. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watch the episode. And this episode was a little bit longer, so I'm going to talk longer in this one. And I remember saying, I hope this doesn't happen. I hope this is a good character in my last review. And I guess I saw it coming. I did not know spoilers when it came to Pete. So, just so you know. So we start off with, we see that Dan shoots Lucifer, and then Chloe goes to Lucifer's body, and Chloe is actually surprised when when Lucifer suddenly gasps and sits up, shocking everyone, me included, as Lucifer extracts the flattened bullet from the ruined shirt. Lucifer says he's okay. Dan says, "You're okay?" Chloe furiously demands Dan to explain himself. And then a panicked Dan snaps at Chloe about knowing who Lucifer truly was, knowing him that he's the devil. And then Lucifer picks himself up, reminding Dan he's never hidden his identity. He's always basically told them that he's the devil. They just never believe him. Literally, I'm the devil. Dan reveals he saw Lucifer's devil face when he was with Amenadiel and Charlie. And then Lucifer tells Dan he's not particularly fond of his face either. And then Dan says he's trying to save the world, and Chloe claims herself, save the world, Chloe, and claims herself and explains she had a hard time accepting the truth at first, and that Lucifer is a good man despite how humanity has portrayed Lucifer. And then we have another gunshot. Lucifer shot himself for confirmation and is delighted to discover that his invulnerability is back. Of course, Dan is mad about this and leaves, with Chloe worried that Trixie should not be forgotten in all this chaos or craziness. And Chloe's trying to make sense of all this. Lucifer gets a kiss and Chloe says she should go. Lucifer is happy he's invulnerable again, but Chloe is curious to why this and the mojo swap happened. The next morning, Ella is leaving Pete's. Pete gives her a key to his place, wondering if they are moving too fast, and Ella tells him they are not, taking the key. And then at work, however, she tells Chloe that Pete said, "I love meatloaf," to her, though Ella asks for advice based on her romance with Lucifer, though however many hours it's been. And Chloe notices Lucifer messing around with a bag next to Detective Douche's or Dan's desk, quickly telling Ella to embrace the love. Lucifer tries to put a snake in Dan's desk drawer to prank Dan as payback for shooting him. And then Chloe tells him it's not a good idea, prompting Lucifer to believe he's thinking too small and the snake isn't even poisonous. Chloe explains that Dan is fragile right now. Lucifer brings up how his return invulnerability near Chloe can make him a human shield, or devil's shield in his case in gunfights. Chloe stops him, explaining the Whisper Killer case doesn't add up. The MO is off. The Whisper Killer says it doesn't make sense to Chloe and Lucifer while in his cell. I must have missed something here. The Whisper Killer himself said it doesn't make sense that he's the Whisper Killer is basically what I wrote there, which doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. They're trying to say that this Whisper Killer guy, what he's saying to them doesn't add up, except with that last kill that they witnessed or they were in on, or that Lucifer got, to a point where he couldn't talk and all that. So Chloe and Lucifer talk to the perp, offering to give his serial killer name suggestions to the newspaper in exchange for information. Lucifer tries to get revenge ideas, but is stopped by Chloe. She trips up the killer, getting him to reveal he is a copycat of the real killer. So I kind of had a hunch that might be the case in the last episode, but I wasn't 100% sure. And then we have Klumsky, that's the serial killer's name, clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. And then they return to Chloe's desk where she notes only the last victim was killed by their prisoner. Lucifer is distracted, nothing that it's prison, then hell for the Klumsky. And then we have Chloe telling Lucifer that she will go over the case files, telling him to go focus on his revenge plan on Dan. And then Lucifer brightens, calling it to divide and conquer planning. He leaves Chloe, who is quite annoyed. So he'd rather go think of a plan to get back at Dan rather than to help Chloe. Come on, Lucifer, you know better than that. At home, Chloe examines the website Killshare, where anonymous people share information about killers. When she goes over the case files, she phones Lucifer to tell him that she's made a breakthrough, a lead in the arts division. However, she is attacked by somebody unknown and dragged away. Meanwhile, a frazzled and Lucifer has several marker boards and pin papers with information on Dan filling his penthouse. Seems like something from Home Alone or something like that. How to Catch the Bad Guys or whatever. As triumphant and dramatic music swells from his stereo, Lucifer ecstatically declares he has figured out the perfect revenge against Dan. He then checks his phone to find he missed a call from Chloe. And then he plays the voicemail, and he only hears sounds of her abduction. So not good. Lucifer knows he fucked up. Flying to her apartment in panic, Lucifer breaks down the door to see the place a mess and her computer smashed. And then Lucifer looks very concerned with no sign of Chloe in her place. What Lucifer does is he is called in Chloe's abduction to the precinct. Ella passes off Lucifer breaking the door down as the perpetrator doing. Ella wonders where Dan is, but Lucifer assures her Dan is useless to them right now. He calms her fears about Trixie by telling her that her grandmother is looking after her. And then Lucifer explains the voicemail, prompting Ella to think the real Whisper Killer is covering his tracks. And it makes me mad that we barely got any of Trixie in this season. Like, she's talked about in this episode, but yet we don't actually see her in this episode. Lucifer blames himself for being distracted, should have listened to the detective, obviously. Ella becomes very emotional, and she begins to actually hit Lucifer. He pulls her into an embrace to console her, reminding Ella that they need to keep their cool heads to find Chloe, to find who has got Chloe. And then Miss Lopez finds that Chloe scribbled down the name Scotty Thomas with a downtown arts district address. Both quickly leave to find what clues they have. And then what they do is they find what looks like the killer's lair. Scotty Thomas exits the bathroom only to be violently pinned into a chair by Lucifer. He's not messing around when it comes to the detective. And as Lucifer demands answers, Scotty explains everything is just good. And Ella confirms it as Lucifer wonders why this was Chloe's lead. And Scotty explains Chloe was supposed to meet with him there for transcripts that he has. Scotty leads them into a room containing like a bank of computers. It's Scotty Games HQ. They're working on a serial killer virtual reality game, which he claims to help people subdue any impulse to kill. Looking through this transcript, Chloe wanted. Ella finds that the username Lilyman85 was talking to the suspect in custody, Klumsky. They realize that Lilyman85 is the original Whisper Killer, as he had firsthand knowledge of the three murderers that haven't gone public yet. And then Ella mentions getting Cyber's help, and Lucifer says we don't have time. And then Scotty offers his team to help track the IP address Lilyman85 used, speeding up the search. And then Lucifer leaves to make a call. At Linda's house, Maze is reading a book about souls. Unfortunately, her attention span can't handle it due to being too wordy. Amenadiel is taking Charlie to the hospital with a 101-degree fever. Linda will meet them there. Maze dismisses this concern as hell is a brisk 120 at all times, and Amenadiel explains that being part angel likely means something is wrong with him due to the fever. Amenadiel tells Maze to answer the phone. It's Lucifer, as Maze refuses to tell Lucifer she is angry with him about keeping Lilith's fate a secret from her all these years. He has no idea why she's upset with him. And then Amenadiel leaves as Maze finally answers her phone, ready to give Lucifer a piece of her mind. And then Lucifer immediately informs her of Chloe's abduction, and she rallies, asking Lucifer what she can do. Lucifer and Ella head to the address where the Whisper Killer used the private IP address. Ella calls for backup. Lucifer kicks down the door. Both see a dead Lily on the floor and detect a putrid smell. Both are terrified Chloe has been killed, and they follow the stench to a bedroom to find a blonde woman long dead. It's not Chloe, thankfully, and of course Ella is relieved. Lucifer fumes that the killer still has Chloe. Maze enters the Klumsky cell, and where she tells him that all the serial killers she's known and tortured are cowards who end up in hell. She takes out her knives to interrogate him. We're going to get to know each other really well. Backup arrives. Lucifer has left. Ella runs into Pete. Pete assures her that he is not using her for her. They're not using her in their romance for like personal gain. Boss makes him cover crimes now. Ella assures Pete their relationship is fine. Pete offers her his Whisper Killer research notes now at his house. Are you trying to make me like you even more? Maybe. At the hospital, Lucifer asks Amenadiel to slow time to allow him more latitude in his search for Chloe. He can't do that anymore, though. Amenadiel says he hasn't been able to use his power since he saved Linda Martin, and tells Lucifer that he has faith that Chloe will be found safe. Lucifer, of course, is panicking, saying that he is useless without Chloe. Lucifer says thanks for nothing. Amenadiel advises him to do the detective work himself. He must have learned something in 5 years. Detective work? You can find her, Detective Morningstar. And then Amenadiel leaves with Linda to get Charlie's test results. At the precinct, Lucifer takes all the Whisper Killer evidence and information into the briefing room and begins working through it for any leads. Ella is impressed with his work, or with the work. The Lucifer explains the key to find out similarities between the victims. The real Whisper Killer is too good at covering his tracks and seems drawn to powerful women. Ella and Lucifer get back to the evidence, hoping for a clue. Maze arrives, revealing Klumsky message the real killer who hunts for victims in restaurants. Lilyman85 looks for windbags to Ella's surprise. Lucifer cross-references the credit card usage of the victims, who all last used it to eat at restaurants. Lucifer urges Ella to find any of them, if any of them had surveillance cameras. Maze assures Lucifer that she broke Klumsky's ribs and torn rotator cuff, and playing It's a Small World on repeat got everything out of Klumsky. Ella reveals only one restaurant had a camera, prompting Lucifer and Maze to head out, and then Ella leaves to come collect Pete's files on the Whisper Killer. And then at the security office, Maze and Lucifer go there, and they Lucifer gets this guy to give him what he wants. His mojo's back. So he's happy about that. He's got his, his, he can't be hurt now, even if Chloe's around, and his mojo's back, so that's good. And then he reveals details to be a dancer. I don't know why he did that, but whatever. The guy really wanted stuff at the Lux and that. And he wants to be hired at the Lux, so whatever. They shake on the deal. Seeing the tapes, Lucifer is utterly shocked to see who the real Whisper Killer is. Oh my dad. Ella arrives at Pete's for the files since she has keys to his place now. When she grabs the box of research off the dresser, a piece of paper falls and is blown over by an electrical outlet, which Ella opens to reveal a purple-blue glow. She pulls back the dresser next to it, and it shows a room full of stargazer lilies, the Whisper Killer's signature flower. Finding samples of the drug used to paralyze the victims on the table, Ella realizes that with horror that Pete is the original Whisper Killer. Oh God. She quickly leaves and puts the dresser back just as Pete returns home, surprising Ella. His happy demeanor goes dark upon seeing the open electrical outlet. Pete asks if she unscrewed that. Pete then violently pins Ella to the ground and attempts to strangle her. Ella, however, has a syringe of the paralytic and stabs Pete in the back, knocking him out. And then in the interrogation room, Lucifer observes through the one-way glass. He hasn't said anything since his arrest. We're talking about Pete here. May says she'll get him to talking, and Lucifer says no. Ella storms in to get Chloe's location from Pete. He stops Maze from interfering, telling Maze that Ella is stronger than either of them think. Pete calmly absorbs the accusations, passing off his killings as flaws in a good guy. We have all the evidence we need from your creepy little plant room. Ella asks what psychological damage caused this. Pete smiles and emptily telling Ella that his mother is to blame. She screamed at him all day long every day and gave her all the attention to her garden. So Ella guessed this is why he cut vocal cords. The flower was a twisted knot to his mother's beloved lily garden, and Pete admits he got close to Ella to stay ahead of the investigation. However, things did evolve from there. He found her to be very sweet and hoped to feel something, anything. He only felt something when he killed his victims, though, while they choked on their own blood. He tells Ella he hopes they can get past this, telling her that he saw darkness in her when they met. Ella snarls, demanding that he tell her where Chloe is, and Pete actually doesn't know, to Ella's surprise. Pete asks to be clear, Elle, is you breaking up with me? And Ella says, Pete, you're going to burn in hell. Lucifer wonders who truly did take Chloe. May suggests hurting Lucifer, not Chloe, was the real objective of the abduction. Chloe is being held captive in a cave with a built-in cage by Michael. Lucifer's twin offers Chloe to her preferred coffee blend, but she slaps it out of his hand, and he's like, hey, that was like $7. And Michael explains that her captivity is temporary, part of a bigger plan. He taunts Chloe, saying that Lucifer's changes are something ominous, and then Chloe returns the taunt about Michael trying to make her afraid of their relationship with Lucifer. Michael counters he cannot create fear, just like Lucifer cannot create desires. They simply expose what already exists. Michael to me is not terrifying. Like he's comical. I feel like he's no threat, even though he has Chloe hostage. He's like joking around, so I don't know. Michael reminds Chloe Angel's self-analyze. Lucifer's newfound invulnerability may mean he no longer feels what he can be vulnerable around her. And then Michael acknowledges Lucifer does not lie, but correctly guesses Chloe has not heard I love you from him, planting a doubt. Now, Michael has a quick errand to run, so enjoy the cave. Again, Michael, not really a threat in my opinion. At the precinct, Lucifer paces in worry as Maze opens the interrogation room doors, revealing a drunken Dan is with her. Maze locks them in, and Dan, panicking, he only comes when he finds out Chloe's in trouble, and Lucifer is trying to help her. Lucifer asks Dan how Dan saw his devil face, learning, Michael tricked Dan into returning to Linda so he could see it. And then Lucifer realizes Michael tried to have Dan kill him. As Dan rationalizes, Lucifer reveals Michael kidnapped Chloe. And then Lucifer asks where Dan saw Michael. Dan tells him he saw Michael at the cemetery, and he took him to a cave that looked fake and abandoned. And Lucifer demands to hear all the details. Chloe hides with a steel bar torn from the cage. A figure enters the cell, and Chloe whacks this figure on the head, rushing out only to be met by Maze and Dan. Lucifer was the one she hit, but hey, he's invulnerable. Nothing hurts him, and he's got his mojo back, so he's all right. Chloe kisses Lucifer, but he happily says, "Oh, it's okay. You can whack me anytime." Funny line there. And when he and Chloe embrace, Dan realizes how much Lucifer truly cares for Chloe and begins to let go of the fear. At the hospital, Amenadiel and Linda learn Charlie will be all right. He just had a cold. Linda leaves with a doctor to see Charlie as Amenadiel is stopped by Michael. Michael tells Amenadiel that he's sorry to hear that Charlie was suffering from a normal cold. And much to his brother's confusion, Michael tells Amenadiel that if Charlie is susceptible to human colds, then that must mean he is more mortal than immortal, planting fears in Amenadiel. Then he returns to the abandoned zoo, where he thinks Chloe is. Maze is waiting for him instead. Michael reveals he wanted to be a part of this plan. The revelation about Lilith was part of it, stating he's the only one who has been honest with her. Michael then promises Maze that if she helps him finally get what she wants, Maze will get what she wants. And I must confess, I got a little help with notes on this episode just to kind of speed up the process, but the videos are taking too long to record now. Unbelievable. At the precinct, Chloe thanks her fellow officers for looking for her. Lucifer watches her direct it all at him. Amenadiel arrives with Linda and Charlie. Amenadiel tries explaining what Lucifer told him, but Linda takes them to the meeting room to give Lucifer time with Chloe. Chloe takes Lucifer to the evidence room for privacy. Lucifer apologizes for putting her through this family drama. Chloe congratulates Lucifer on his detective work. Lucifer reveals his mojo is back, making Chloe wonder if his subconsciously is pushing her away despite his genuine desire to be with her. Chloe's afraid Lucifer doesn't feel the same way about her as she does for him. Indirectly, Chloe tells Lucifer that he hasn't really said the most important words. And then realizing her meaning, Lucifer starts to say, "I love you," but finds her frozen. Lucifer realizes it's Amenadiel using his power. Lucifer finds Amenadiel. He explains time is not slowed down. It's stopped, directing Lucifer to look at Charlie, who's frozen and not unaffected like other Celestials. Charlie is apparently normal or mortal. Lucifer, frustrated, tells Amenadiel to deal with his parental anxieties later. He needs time to resume so he can talk with the detective. Amenadiel doesn't know how to fix time. Lucifer explains that it's his brother's subconscious acting up, so he orders him to stop being afraid. Michael arrives, easier said than done, praising Amenadiel for being an overachiever. He, of course, purposely needed Amenadiel's fears. Lucifer realizes Charlie's cold was Michael's work too, as Michael continues to aggravate Amenadiel's fear to the point where he gets punched out after he said, "It's not my fault you impregnated one of these filthy little humans." May steps in, revealing she knows Lucifer hid her mother's, what happened to her mother from her. And Michael promised her a soul. Since he has been honest and Lucifer hid personal issues, Maze has sided with Michael now to help him achieve his ambition. All four of them fight, with Maze taking out her anger on Lucifer, while Amenadiel is kept occupied by Michael. Angry at Michael for using his son as a pawn, Amenadiel attacks him until he gets one of Maze's knives, and then Lucifer palm strikes Maze to knock the wind out of her with real damage. The three brothers unfurl their wings, ready to go all out, but then a deep voice booms, "That's enough!" As blinding light appears on the steps. Lucifer is speechless when Dad/God arrives to stop them. He hates when his children fight, and that's the end of the episode. So, Pretty awesome episode. Sorry this took a little bit longer to record. I really like this episode. In fact, this might be my favorite episode of the show. It just stuck with me a lot. I give it a 10 out of 10. Lucifer is my character of the episode. Ella is my female character of the episode. Most of our main cast in this one was really good. And I called it that Pete was going to be a part of it. I did not know that going in. There are things I know about the series, but I did not know that Pete was actually going to be a serial killer. Although I said something to that degree in the last episode review. So that's unfortunate for Ella, but yeah, really good episode. So you've heard me ramble way long enough. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Lucifer and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please make sure that you Hulk smash the like button, share the video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Lucifer. What would you rate the episode? What would be your male character of the episode? Who would be your female character of the episode, or whatever you want to put, and make sure you interact with me as well as Crazy Coffee Man. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special, and you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.